Good morning, Devils fans. Finally back home. Still recovering from that long weekend. So going to keep this one still a little short and sweet. But a bit of a change of pace as I did have a long car ride with the Bachelor, my best man, who has been a lifelong Islanders fan. And then also one of our buddies for the weekend is a Rangers fan. So obviously talked a little bit of hockey with them and figured take this episode after talking a bit over the weekend with them about all of our teams to give more of a casual-ish fan perspective from some other guys. I know I'm pretty in the weeds, especially very online in a lot of hockey communities. So a lot of people I talk to tend to be very, very informed on all the happenings across the league with almost every team, if not just their own. So obviously you're going to get a bit of a skewed opinion on outlook of different teams when those are the type of communities and people you're talking to. Where these guys, again, one of them, my buddy, the Islanders fan, he keeps track of the Islanders, not like every second of every news day, but generally speaking, he's watching every single game in the regular season, obviously playoffs, and he's fairly well informed on his team. Anybody else, nothing at all. And then the Rangers fan, as a Rangers fan does, only watches in playoffs. So he had a great time this past season watching his team for 7 games. So it was a good experience for him. But I'm going to start off with the Islanders fan because I did spend the most time talking with him about it since we shared the car ride up. And he and I are pretty much in agreement on at least where the Islanders are at. He's not very happy with what Lou has basically done at all every step of the way since coming in. He thinks the team's only gotten older. He hated the Trotz firing. He hated that they have absolutely nobody on the team that can score. His thoughts were around John Tavares really being the only goal scorer, and ever since he was gone, they can't put pucks in. And when Tavares was here, they couldn't play any defense. Now that he's gone, they have good defense, but can't score on anybody. He's not very high on Horvat, who he thought was maybe supposed to come in and score, but obviously fell off a cliff once arriving. He is excited to see what maybe a full season him and Barzell are going to do coming in together, but he's, in my opinion, a little too high on their fourth line. Thinks that keeping them around, is a great idea depending on the money. I think he's probably willing to pay them a lot more than I ever would. One fascinating thing is I know there was a definitely not going to probably actually have any traction kind of rumor, but it's always fun to talk about those type of things with guys, and that was Nylander Islander rumors with possibly Pajot heading back the other way. And my buddy wasn't about that at all. He did not want to move their third line center for who would probably be their best forward, arguably between him and Barzell at least, to bring Nylander in, and I called him absolutely crazy. So just to give you an idea of the kind of hockey talks that we tend to have. Wants to bring somebody in, needs goal scoring, but doesn't want to give up a 3C to do so because he thinks Pajot is just like a perfect 3C. So, it is what it is. Gave him some crap for that one. Talking to him about the Devils, he definitely thinks we have lapped the Islanders. I don't think that's very controversial at all for him to say, but he also doesn't think we're very much of like cup favorites. Thinks we need to still prove it more in the playoffs. We're still young, still small, the goaltending, but very much just the buzzword takes. Once I try to get into the nitty gritty of it with him, didn't really have much else beyond that. We did get to reminisce about Lou together a bit. Like I said just before, he's not been very happy with the moves Lou has made. And so I told him this is basically exactly what Lou did to us. We at least had won some cups, with Lou, and then he just tried to extend that window when it was way past needing to be closed. Sold off all of our assets, basically gave up all of our futures, and by the time Lou left, we were just left with a husk of a team that needed a full revamp and clearly took a long time to clear out old, bring in new, and grow a farm system. And so I'm telling them, just expect that. You're not there quite yet. Sorokin's going to really keep you in it for a while. You got guys that are at the high end of 20s and in their 30s, so you're going to middle your way out probably here for another handful of years. But then once those super long contracts he gave out are just about halfway through probably, it's going to look atrocious over there for the Islanders. So he's not feeling very great about it. But, respect that he's going to stick with the team throughout it. He's not going to jump over to the Young Gun Devils like I said he probably should have for years now. But, hey, respect to him for that. I told him once the Lightning knocked him out twice in a row, we both agreed that was their last even shot at having any possibility. and they're just going to middle away here. So that was really the talk with the Islanders fan. Rangers fan, again, he doesn't really watch regular season at all. Says he only tunes in for playoffs, so there's not going to be very much deep discussion there. But of course, he is very opinionated that the Devils are not going to be cup favorites either. Don't know how he can say that after watching us just smack their team who was supposed to make a run this year around for the 7 games he did watch. Kind of had the same just Budweiser's opinions that he just hears from talking heads. Can't really form the opinions himself on it. Just young, smaller, goaltending, that type of stuff. Completely ignoring the fact that we did get bigger. Our young guys are hitting their primes while we still have some younger guys on ELCs, and our older guys are just in their, just hitting 30 or just barely over 30, at least for the roster guys that matter. Obviously, there is a couple older guys like Brendan Smith, but he doesn't move the needle on it. He probably won't even play very much. So, yeah, just to give you guys a bit of an idea of when you are arguing online with some people or you just meet a fan out in the wild, what type of experience they're bringing to the table with the opinions they're giving you. So, don't get too heated with them. They don't just really know much of what they're talking about, especially when it comes to Devils who don't get very much media coverage, especially compared to obviously like New York teams, especially Rangers. So that's really it. We didn't get really too much deeper than that. They kept trying to talk me into putting money on the Devils for the cup, which I would do. I'm just adamantly against sport betting, so I did not do it. I'll throw some money on the blackjack table, which I did. Walked away with winnings on the last day, boys. Overall down. What are you going to do? But that's what the weekend's there for. But yeah, don't do sports betting. Feel like that's a rabbit hole you can fall down because I think I'd be good at it is the worst problem. And when you think that, you're bound to lose. So I just not going to fall down that rabbit hole myself. That's really going to do it. Again, I wanted to keep this one short and sweet, just to kind of recap over what the crazy weekend I had was relating to hockey, obviously. Glad to be home. Getting home, my daughter running me a hug, best thing ever. Probably going to jump back into either the Spotlight series or I'm thinking of doing a little bit of a interim thing. I'll sleep on it, see how I'm feeling tomorrow morning, as today has been a little rough. But that's going to do it for today. Start of the work week. Going to be a long one for me, I know that. And yeah, that does it. I will see everyone tomorrow morning, as always, and forever. Let's go Devils.